is Bob Doyle. I am from the movie The Secret. That's why the channel is called Bob Doyle from The Secret. See, and I've been teaching sort of life by design principles for 20 years or so, and focused heavily on the law of attraction for lots and lots of reasons. And now I have sort of shifted the focus, especially when it comes to creating lasting and efficient transformation. Keyword, efficient, is to take a different route, especially if you're feeling slowed down by any sort of efforts with the law of attraction. And basically we're saying, instead of focusing on whether or not you got your vision board right or what your vibe is or whatever, or worrying about, am I attached? Instead of worrying about that, let's just focus on who you want to be so that you can get the results that you want to attract. Okay? So that's what we talk about here. And, but there is a whole, a lot of what we talk about is rewiring your brain for more positive ways of thinking, to be able to see new possibilities, because a lot of times we stop ourselves from taking action, or we take misguided action because of how our brain is currently working. So let's talk about preparing for the worst. So this negative thinking idea is, people get all bent out of shape about worrying about thinking about negative thoughts, and is it bad? Is it going to ruin my manifestation? It's all about where you're going to focus your attention, how long you're going to stay in those negative thoughts. So that's really what's important. But the whole preparing for the worst thing is totally fine if that's your position. It's like, I'm not trying to be negative here, because a lot of times people they think about the worst case scenario in a situation instead of the best case scenario, right? So many of us are wired to just go that way automatically, and we've talked about that many, many times over the course of these broadcasts. So if you're wired to go negative in default, then it's very easy to classify this negative thinking as a way of being responsible, of preparing yourself for the worst. I just want to be ready just in case something bad happens. And while there's nothing inherently wrong in that, the follow-up question is, are you also preparing for the best? And what does that look like? Have you actually thought that through? When you're in a situation, do you take equal or more amount of time preparing for if things go absolutely right? Because guess what? If you're not doing that, the chances are you're going to create circumstances, you're going to perpetuate circumstances that are in alignment with what you are prepared for. Like, you already got it all figured out in your head about what's going to happen if things go wrong. So it's like you got a plan. But do you have a plan for when things go right? Like, if all of a sudden you get a lot of money, are you ready? Do you know how you're going to invest it? Do you know how you're going to keep it? Do you know how you're going to maximize that? When you've got this vision for where you want to go, are you preparing yourself for that the same way you prepare yourself for the worst? Or do you just figure, well, no, I don't need to prepare myself for good stuff, because that'll just happen and I'll feel great? You're not ready to receive the good stuff if you haven't, you're preparing yourself for the negative, which, again, nothing wrong with having a plan B for if feedback comes back in a way that you don't want. But you also your plan A has to be preparing for the best, because that's when you're going to act in alignment with receiving the best. If you are preparing for the worst, you are going to act in alignment with, oh my God, the worst is coming. You're not going to attract at all the result you want when you're being like that. A person who is being the end result is saying different things, making different meaning, having different relationships, having different interactions. They're taking bolder action, so they're going to get the results. But a person who is only preparing for the worst has all their attention on that and making sure everything is just right so that nothing changes if things go wrong. And what you need to be preparing for is things changing wonderfully. Again, it's okay to, quote unquote, be responsible and know alternate forms of action given different results. Hey, just a quick interruption. If you like what you see here, be sure to click the subscribe button and the notification bell so we can let you know the next time we post a video like this. All right, moving forward. So that, by the way, is a completely different energy than preparing for the worst. It's like you're about to do something, you've got a goal, you've got a vision, you're going to get different types of reactions, different types of feedbacks, different types of response as you go through your journey. You get to decide how you ultimately feel about them. Is it going to be a negative thing, or is it just going to be more feedback? That's a common thing that we talk about here all the time. So, but preparing for the worst has a much different vibe than being aware of your options. But those options must include things going exactly as you want. And that is where you need to spend the majority of your time, if not all of it, especially when you're being out in the world. You can't carry around this preparation, bracing yourself for the bad, because you just have to realize that that's going to affect how you occur to people, both on a obvious level because of what you say and do when you're led by that, when you're guided by that. And then just on this sort of invisible level that we all have when we're in communication with somebody, we know something's not quite right. That's the vibe you'll put off, and those are the results that you will get. This is a short but valuable lesson. You need to be honest with yourself about how your brain works. You have to be able to honestly assess, I almost always just plan for the negative. Do you plan for the positive? And do you plan for the positive way, way more than the negative? Because if you're not, here's what it tells everyone. You don't believe the positive is going to happen. You don't believe it's going to happen. And if you can't believe that, then it's not going to happen, because you're not going to do what it takes to make it happen. You're not going to be that person. So again, remember, this whole thing is about being that person who has those results now. Not like working your way towards it or waiting for the external to come to you so that you can then be that person, but to be that person, take on the behaviors, the thought processes, the meaning you make now, today. That's what I mean by efficient. When you start doing that, you're going to get different results in the world. Right? So most of your action out in the world needs to be in preparation for what you truly do want to have in your life. And be that person now, like you've already got it. Which, again, sounds very law of attraction-y, like act as if, yes. But also that is how it's going to happen in just the physical world, because you're acting differently. You're going to get different responses. Again, very logical, practical, not woo-woo. I would love to be able to help guide you through your transformation if that is what you truly want. I've been doing this for 20 years, and if you want to kind of see where I'm at with how I do that with people, go take our Transformation Personality Type quiz. It's free. It takes you a minute. tptquiz.com/IG. tptquiz.com/IG. It will tell you things about yourself that you'll nod your head and go, oh yeah, that is me. That is how I take on transformation. That is probably why I stop. And not only that, then you'll be told how you can not stop. And why, obviously, why not to stop, so you can complete it, so you can get there. But when you understand more about what stops you, you can go, oh, I see, that's just a program I'm running. It's not the truth. I don't have to stop here just because I'm having these feelings. These feelings are here because of my wiring, which was put here without my permission to a large degree. So now, starting now, today, I'm going to start changing my own wiring, making my own meaning, aware of how I used to make meaning, but seeing that way of making meaning doesn't serve me. So I'm going to make different meaning that empowers me into moving into action that is in alignment with the person that is going to get the results that I truly want. Hey, it's Bob here. If you got value out of what you saw here, please click the like button so that we know what kind of videos we can keep making for you. Also, if you're new to the channel and you haven't yet subscribed, well, I invite you to do that. It's just one click of a button, and click the notification bell so that you'll know the next time we upload a video. In the meantime, share this with friends and family that you care about, and if you'd like to catch up on some of the other stuff we've done here over the years, just click either of these videos. It'll be a good start for you. We'll see you next time.